So many people cannot make it. I don't know. The lockdown is maybe like cooling down or something. A lot of people, normally we have lots of people on here because of the lockdown, but it has changed. So some people have to go back to it. Yeah, because it's nice weather as well. I think that also helps. It's really beautiful weather. So I want to welcome everybody for this meeting. As most of you know, most of us are Dr. Joe students, and most of us have met at a Dr. Joe students event in Mallorca. And a lot of the people here in our community are, what I would call really, really committed to consciousness. And we're always looking for the tools to really, help us create an amazing life, because we really believe that we are very powerful. But there are many, many things that are, here in the world to distract us, let's say, and we are definitely in our own way. And so there are many, many tools, and we were so lucky to be in a group called the Flamingos in Mallorca 2019. And that is where I met Ellen, that's where I met a lot of the people here in this call, but that's definitely where I met Boyan. And when we started masterminding as a group, also what was beautiful was that, we were just there every morning, like I think 15 to 20 people, meditating at 5 a.m. CET, 4 a.m. UK time. And Boyan, what we noticed about Boyan was that he was really like downloading a lot. Like Boyan was always living in, I think, in the 5D world, very much in contact with the 5D world. And then when Boyan had the download that he had to go to Cancun, he really just followed his intuition and all the signs, and he was making videos for us every day, documenting what was going on in Cancun, and it was so beautiful to watch. And that is also where he met Nicole, but we'll let them talk about later. But Boyan was definitely manifesting. He was single then. He was manifesting his soulmate wife, and we knew what the soulmate wife was. It was like she was going to hike with him and like travel with him and all these things. And so we'll let Boyan and Nicole explain who they are. But I just wanted to let Ellen speak. How do you remember Boyan?
Yeah, it's the funny guy with the flamingo on his neck, setting the trend of the flamingos, the most joyful, childlike, very noticeable young man in our flamingo group. I was just from the moment I met him, a connection, and I just love his story. And he's like my role model, because he says he used to be shy, even though I didn't know him then. So yeah, I just love. And then Nicole, I already felt a connection with, even though I've never actually met her. Before I even met her online, I already felt so connected to her. So yeah, definitely soul family and amazing humans. And they manifested each other, and Nicole also followed her intuition, and they both were led to Cancun to meet each other. It's just so, I love it.
Yeah, it's good that it's good that you're saying it, because Boyan, when I was sitting next to him and Flores, one of our other flamingos, at a lunch table, I couldn't believe that he told me that he was very shy, and that he was really like, because the way that we know Boyan now, he's like the opposite of that. So I think this is very encouraging news for lots of people that are maybe watching this, that might feel that, that they have certain programs that are stopping them. And I think Boyan, because Boyan is really the living proof of that. You can overcome yourself and you can become a different person. So Ellen is going to ask the first question. We're going to start.
Yeah. So the first question is to tell us about yourselves and your professional background, and how you met and started working together.
Take it away, honey.
Hey guys, great to be here. Thank you so much for interviewing us, and thanks everybody that's here live with us. We're so happy to share all of this with you. So for me, I'm a degreed geneticist. So I was working with the government, genetically engineering plants, when none of it made sense to me, and my answers weren't getting met as to how the human genome and how we work. So I set off around the world, and then I realized I discovered frequency. I became a sound therapist, and then I discovered theta healing. And I discovered that our beliefs and our perceptions actually affect the expression of our genes. So theta healing was the modality that allowed me to get into actually reprogramming the perception in order to change the expression of our genes and the reality we create. So that was huge for me. That was one of the biggest shifts. And when it comes to how I ended up in Cancun, I was actually going to Portland, Oregon. I was in Thailand, and I said, I need to go to Portland, Oregon to the Joe Dispenza retreat. And then I was going to Montana in June for a theta healing instructor training, which is only on once a year in June. And suddenly I got the psychic email that said, you're not going to Portland, Oregon, you're going to Cancun. Financially, career-wise, it didn't make any sense. You know, why would you do that? So, and I knew there was somebody very important in Portland, Oregon that I needed to meet. I didn't know it was going to be romantic. I just knew it was very important. So I decided to just follow my intuition, cancelled, rearranged flights, and went to Cancun, and that's where we met. And we met through a team member of mine. I did theta healing on him. He's from Massachusetts, and he described.
He was my roommate in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yo, dude, I met this Irish fairy. She's mystical and stuff. You gotta meet her. She's done this theta healing thing. You just gotta experience it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll pick up on that. So just to rewind a little bit, I'm originally from Bulgaria, and when I was 3, we moved to Belgium, and it was completely different language, different environment. Bulgaria was still communistic. I spent 6 months without my parents, just with my little brother, living with my grandparents. So it was all like a big shock to me, and I was very introverted and closed down. And throughout my life, I was shy. And then I realized at one point when I was 9 or 10, I was like, this is it. I don't want to live like this, and I'm going to change. So I started pushing myself outside my comfort zone and improving my life, going into self-development. And I was doing pretty okay, but talking in public, that was still a no-go. That was my biggest fear. At the same time, I was having some struggles with work. So I trained as an osteopath in England, and I was working in England and then moved back to Belgium. And one day, well, actually, I went traveling as well after living in Belgium for a year. And then I moved to Mallorca in Spain. Now, the first year was okay during the season, but as soon as winter arrived, work just dropped in half. I had a lot of expenses because I moved to a new flat, and I was struggling financially, and just I was kind of feeling overwhelmed. And then life taught me that whenever I have a problem with something or someone, it's because I'm giving that thing more importance than my connection to myself. So I was like, wow, okay, I'm going to start meditating. And I started meditating every day, 2 hours, and that completely changed my life. I started working differently rather than working more on a physical level. I started working with people on an emotional, spiritual level, guiding them through meditations, and my whole path changed. So I also got in touch with, I got to know Joe Dispenza. I read Becoming Supernatural. I did one of the meditations, the space-time one, on my own, and I had a mystical experience, a transcendental experience that it was like a near-death experience while meditating. Mm. And I realized why I was shy, how he was serving me, how everything just fit together so beautifully. And that was sort of the start of me feeling more abundant and having it more comfortably in life. And I decided I'm going to go and attend a retreat. If I hadn't read that book, I wouldn't have been able to afford to go to the retreat. For real. So then we had an amazing time with the flamingos, and it was on the second to last day when we were doing the coherence healing. I was feeling so powerful. I was feeling so empowered and grateful of where I've come from and how far I've gotten. Because by then I had overcome my fear of public speaking. I was joining Toastmasters and doing speeches and all those things. And instead of doing my next retreat in July in Portland, which was more affordable, everyone was saying you should go to Cancun because it's the best resort. And in that place of empowerment, I decided, fuck it, I'm not going to be my old self. I'm going to prove that I can make this happen. So it's like I made this quantum jump where I left the past behind and got into a new version of myself. And as Nicole said, that's when we met. And life hasn't been the same, because we are not just soulmates, we're divine life partners, which is a soulmate with who you share a mission. We are here for the same reasons. We want to empower people of the fact that we create our own reality and to teach others how to do that, basically.
Yeah, that actually reminds me, because I think a lot of people on their journey to awakening go through the dark night of the soul at some point. And after I had left after 2 years, I remember sitting on my roof in New Zealand and having this thought that every thought has ever been thought, that everything that could be created has been created, that we lived in a limited universe. And that was the most hurtful thought you could ever have. It just seemed like everything was meaningless. And then when I realized, actually, no, I'm creating this, there's a higher, when this all incrementally happened, that just radically changed everything. Because you go from thinking, I'm nothing, I'm powerless, to, oh my God, I'm everything. That's a quantum leap. And once you realize you're everything, you can never go back. You realize that, okay, it's my programs, it's my perception that's blocking it. So how do I get out of my own way?
I think it's so beautiful also that you said, without that book, I would not have been able to like manifest these things. It always starts with one book. And definitely the next question is, your program Quantum Manifesting is designed by both of you. And I think, we have these amazing teachers like Dr. Joe and Bruce Lipton and, Greg Braden and, the teachers who channel Theta Healing and Emotion Code, etc. But I think also all of us ourselves, individuals, have a mission. Like, Ellen and me, we're channeling the appreciation game. And that was definitely a download that was not thought of by my mind. And so I wanted to ask the both of you, how did you come up with this program, and how is it different from others? Because Ellen and I are really, really very we're very clear about the USP, the unique selling point of our game. And even though we have people telling us we should do all of these other things that other people are doing, say no, we don't do that. That's not us. So how is this program uniquely Boyan and Nicole designed for a new tribe, a new community? Because I read the outline, which is here in the chat. It's a beautiful outline, but I want to know maybe how you got inspired to do that.
Yeah, well, actually, so Nicole, she's doing a PhD with Quantum University, and she's a quantum health coach, and she keeps, learning more and more things. And as part of the program, there's a lot of videos to watch by Lynn McTaggart.
Yes.
And basically, Nicole started having a love affair with Lynn McTaggart. Like, that was all she was watching. And Lynn McTaggart, she wrote The Field, The Power of Eight, and The Intention Experiment.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then on a Sunday, a couple of months ago, all of a sudden, she was like, hey, why don't we do our own intention experiment, for people that want to manifest more clients? Because I'm also a Theta healer, just like Nicole. And we know a lot of Theta healers. And there's some beliefs regarding healing work where it's wrong to ask for money, it's not spiritual, all those beliefs, basically. And we wanted to help Theta healers actually break those beliefs to allow more abundance to come into their life and to actually do what they're passionate about and make a living from it. And so we did our first experiment. We called it the Theta Healing Intention Experiment with Theta healers. We had a group of 20 people, and that went really well. People had all kinds of things manifesting. They suddenly out of nowhere, they were collaborating together. Some people started their own podcast, started blogging.
Two people created their own groups. One person created their own course and ended up with students already within those weeks.
Yeah. All of them had more inspiration and clarity where they wanted to go with their work. So it was really rewarding, and we had such good feedback. And then we were like, okay, how can we make this open to more people?
Yeah, so what was different about that was we didn't just have one person intending for, or a group intending for one person. We reversed it. So we had a whole group intending for an avatar. So we created an avatar and then loaded this with the group consciousness. And then vulnerability is how we connect to each other, right? Like if I know something that's true and authentic about you, something that you've been through, your struggle, that compassion like automatically will connect us. And then we're in it for each other. So there's that act of altruism. So instead of the law of attraction, where it's all about I think, I feel, I get, with the aspect of the intention experiment, it's I do for you, because we're one consciousness. So that's, as the Bible and all the texts say, when you give, you receive. When I do for you, I'm the benefactor. If I wish you good health, I in turn actually get good health. And that was one of the biggest things from all of Lynn McTaggart's work that I took from it, that when you get beyond yourself, you actually receive. It's the most powerful message that hit me really strongly. Then combining the act of altruism, which is just phenomenal, with actual getting clarity on what it is that you want to manifest, because there's different levels. There's from the ego, that there's victim ego, then there's victor ego, and then there's soul aligned. And so many people can't get in touch with their soul alignment because they're stuck in the should, right? You guys know all about this, that I should do this and I should do that, and we judge ourselves for the simplicity sometimes of what we love, where our joy is. And we don't allow ourselves to follow our joy because we're judging it based on society's rules. So we have created we have taken lots of practical exercises that help people find out what it is that they actually want to manifest, that's in alignment with their soul. Because once you're in alignment, then it's so much easier. We're not here as gluttons. We're not here to just manifest money for the sake of money, because that's not going to get us anything. Yeah, what else?
Yeah, so we just decided, we were coming together on Zoom twice a week to meditate together, where we do first a live energy clearing like we will do soon, and then a meditation that we had created ourselves with some empowering music. And we felt that this time we were going to improve things a lot, and we decided to come together 3 times. There'll be more time to connect. There'll be more teaching by us rather than just connecting and then meditating and clearing. And also the days that we don't get together on Zoom, we're going to share with people one video or article to read, to keep them in that zone, in that flow, to keep them inspired, to keep them, to understand better how quantum manifesting works.
Yeah, so for you guys that don't know what Theta healing is a modality that was channeled by a woman, Diana Stivel, back in '95 over in Montana. And she basically found that when in the Theta brainwave, you have access to all that is. So every single week we do a live energy clearing. So we use the Theta brainwave to make activations in your subconscious mind, because it's not that you have to go and look for your manifestation, but it's that it's already there, but it's your beliefs and it's your definitions that are keeping it away. Because people don't often realize this about definitions in the mind. You've learned your program from your parents, and you've also inherited it. There's different levels of beliefs. So some are from the collective, some are ancestral, some are genetic, and some are core, so since you've been in utero. And some of your definitions are skewed. So for some people, they don't understand what joy really is. I know for me that my definition of fun was actually really skewed, because my parents, they drank and they smoked and they gambled and they did all of these things that weren't innocent fun. So I didn't actually understand what innocent fun was. I thought that you had to do these things and this was fun. So my understanding of it was wrong. I didn't see another way. So with Theta healing, we realign the definitions that you have in your subconscious to the creator. In Theta healing, we call the divine the creator. So we'll also go through that. Each week has a different program, and we go through the programs that you have with the creator. Because since you've left source energy, you've been creating beliefs and perceptions. And the way the Hindu religion has gods and Egypt has gods, we have different understandings in our unconscious as to who God is. And we might believe that it's going to punish us. I don't want to connect to it. It's going to hurt me. It wants something from me. I need to sacrifice. So if I manifest the love, I have to sacrifice.
Work, career.
Yeah. It's a sacrifice. It's a it's a trade. Or we have vows, like many of us have been nuns or priests, and we have vows of poverty as well as celibacy. It's so powerful.
So long story short.
Yeah.
No, this is very powerful. Thank you. It's like, I think we all can relate to what you're saying.
I think it's Bashar who says that everything that we want, all the goodness, all the abundance, always wants to come to us, but it is us that is keeping it at bay. It's keeping it outside of us through our beliefs. And similarly, everything that is not serving our highest good, it wants to leave us, but we're holding on to it for dear life. And so this is what we really want to do with our quantum manifesting program, is not just through the teaching, but through the energy clearing, is to change the beliefs that we hold about ourselves, about other people, about the creator, about our whole existence, basically.
And there was one more thing that I love as well, and it's making the impossible possible. And that's Dr. Joe says it too, when you manifest mystical experiences, expanding your mind through exercises, but also through subconscious activations of what is possible. Because if we look in quantum physics and we look at the chaos theory says that over in Florida, if a butterfly flaps his wings, a tsunami can happen in Japan. So what does that actually mean? It means that every single moment, you've made a quantum leap, but you don't realize it. You don't think it's a quantum leap because it's incremental. So your mind in linear 3D reality thinks that it can, that makes sense. But actually, just like that little butterfly wing over there and a tsunami over here, that's already a quantum leap. So you can go from no money to 100,000, or from poor health to an instant healing. So it's really bringing up the impossible to the possible as well.
Actually, I have a good example. A few months ago, we were sitting down to meditate just before going to sleep. And we were just talking, and I said something, and she goes, "Wait a minute, what did you just say?" And I said something in the lines of, when I do this thing, then I might get rewarded, or something to do with doing and being rewarded. And she was like,
program.
That's a program. I have to do something in order to get rewarded. And if you think about it, how often as a kid, we will get this cookie or this candy if we're a good boy, or if we clean our room, or this or that. And so we did a clearing using Theta healing, where we released the belief that I have to do something in order to be rewarded, and replaced it with I can simply be and get rewarded for no reason at all. When we finished our meditation, literally, I got a message from a woman I hadn't heard from in 6-7 years, and I had met her only once before. So she's not a friend, pretty much, just an acquaintance, who had moved from Paris to Amsterdam. And just out of nowhere, she's like, "Hey, Boyan, I've been watching your videos, and I think one of my colleagues could use your help. Is it okay if I pass your number to him?" I'm like, "Sure, go for it." 15 minutes later, he messaged me, booked the first session, loved it, and then ended up booking a whole package with me. So that was literally over €1,000 just from doing that one clearing.
And then she was a client as well.
And she became a client as well.
Amazing. You know, I think this is so beautiful. I mean, these testimonials, because I think, you know, I was saying yesterday in one of the constellation sessions that I was having for the Players of the Appreciation Game, that we actually have so many testimonials like this, but actually they're like hidden. They're like, you know, in little circles. And maybe we should make an effort to get like a community with all our testimonials. And maybe we should create that together, Boyan and Nicole, with Ellen. Because we have a very ambitious developer who's always pushing us to create things. Remember, Ellen? He's always pushing us. I think you should create this. I think you should. I'm like, oh, we're not feeling it. But I think I feel this. It's like really just coming up with these amazing anecdotes and testimonials. Yeah. And Ellen and I, we designed a game, a 7-day free game where we only work with testimonials. Because I feel that we had to break through the belief of people that you can manifest a lot of things, sometimes not doing anything, sometimes just being joyful. I mean, some of you have been in that 7-day free game and the videos were just flabbergasting of what people were manifesting. And so this doing, being, you know, paradigm of do we have to do something to achieve something? Sometimes it's just you think of something and things come to you, right? And it is because you started vibrating at a different level. And I think these Theta clearings, they are brilliant. I've worked with, in a mastermind, we worked with one of our Theta clearing friends, and when he removed one of my money blocks, I actually had a money block that I didn't know about. It was, I don't want to charge money because these other people need it more than me. I mean, imagine that you have that block. You can work your ass off, be brilliant, and not make any money, and you don't know you have that block. So I really recommend Theta healing because it's really, it goes so deep. And I think Boyan, I've worked with Boyan a session, he's very intuitive, and Boyan is, you know, scientific as well. So I love that. I think they're both very, very much into science-based, but also they know that science cannot explain everything. Ellen, I think we have a third question, right?
Yeah, the question is what can people expect? But I want to ask, I think we kind of answered it there already, kind of answered it, but I was just wondering, because in the outline of the course, it says that we're sort of done with manifesting for ourselves. I really like that aspect that you say, but we're doing it for the greater whole or for the world or something. Can you explain that a little bit? Because I was just thinking about what can people expect, but it's also not about us anymore. So if you can talk about that for a bit.
Yeah, so obviously we all have our desires and things we want to create and manifest. Well, we take those intentions and we put them all together in, as Nicole mentioned, the avatar, which is the group consciousness. And, you know, knowing that everyone has entered their intention and desires in this group avatar, we are going to be intending for the whole group to achieve their desired outcome. So it's not about me, I want this, I want abundance, I want that. It's about everyone in the group. So that's where, you know, we're going to be connecting with each other. We're going to, you know, just connect heart to heart, soul to soul. And just like in a coherence healing, you have nothing but love and compassion and healing thoughts for the person in front of you. But this is the same, just that it's not per se about healing. It can be about anything, you know, it can be about finding your purpose. It can be about having fulfillment in your work. It can be about manifesting your dream job, more abundance, more clients, whatever it is.
Yeah, because I love one of the examples from Lynn McTaggart's work of a guy who wanted to be healed, and he had tried loads of things. He was actually a clinical psychologist, and he was clinically depressed, and he didn't, nothing was working, right? So he went to his intention group, and the intention was that he would find the right practitioner that understood how to help him. And then he got the download or the insight that he needed to see a Chinese medicine herbalist, and they found something with his liver. He detoxed his liver, depression lifted. So it's opening up to all of this that we're blocking. We're blocking so much, especially in relation to our work as well, because society says, oh, you know, I need to niche, and maybe my niche is here and maybe my niche is there, but you're actually blindsided. You can't see your promised people. There's people that you said on a soul level, like, I'm here to serve you, I'm here to work with you, and you can't let them in because they don't qualify in your niche, according to, you know, I'll make you rich.com.
Nothing wrong with being rich, but I think a lot of the people, there tend to be two types of people that we meet a lot in our groups. One of them is very clear about what they want, and it's almost like they are super ambitious about it, but there's a lot of the doing, the massive action, mind and willpower, motivational speech type of stuff, without the consciousness, without looking at all the consciousness behind it that actually brings these people to you. And that's what we see in our game, is like when people are they have accountability for their consciousness every day, suddenly they start relaxing, and then through the crack of least resistance, these manifestations come to them instead of them having to work at it. And I think, but definitely clearing work is going to be super beneficial. But we also have another group of people that really don't know what they're here to do. All they know is that they don't like their job and that they feel they need to do something. But of course, this job is paying the bills. Which group, because I sometimes feel that the group that is super, super clear about what they want, sometimes there's much more possible there than what they have in mind. And the group that doesn't know what they want, that's a very different group. So how could these two groups maybe fit into program? Would they get more downloads about what it is that they need to do? Or do they need to know beforehand? Or I don't know.
I think that's a beautiful question. So for people who are super clear, if that's in alignment with their heart and they feel that, then these exercises will show them that maybe it will connect the heart and brain. When they see, okay, so I'm super clear, and actually it's in alignment with my soul's desires, with my heart's desire. Now I'm really, I've got that extra energy in it now. I've linked the heart and brain. Or they might see, okay, now I've actually realized that my wishes were more ego-driven than heart-based. And just like our education system, everything is becoming heart-based. Like we need to tap into that wisdom to be able to effortlessly follow without needing to see the future. Because some people have decided, this is exactly what I want, and I need to know what I want so that I can plan 5 years ahead. But as you guys know, that when we're co-creating with the divine. So the point is not to see 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. The point is to enjoy every moment now. The unknown, the present moment and the unknown, and being led by downloads. And this is what we teach as well. And a lot of people in our groups now know what downloads are, because they've really started like letting go of the mind. It's really, when you go into the analytical mind, it's trying to control it. It wants like a business strategy plan, maybe even following other experts. It really doesn't feel right. And it very often just makes you work really hard, competing with a lot of other people doing the same thing. Whereas if you start to really get clear about your individual contribution, co-creating with the divine, it becomes really quite magical. It's very different from using this. And it is this and this and that, whatever is here to give us the information.
Yeah, because people who may be really clear on what they want and are like go-getters and, they just work hard, what they will probably get out of this course is to do things in a more effortless way, to understand how through being they can produce just as much, if not more, as to, through regular doing. So it's finding that nice balance and to actually only take action when they're in alignment, rather than take action because that's what their to-do list says.
Yes.
If they're in alignment, they might do one or two things on their to-do list and be like, I feel like going for a walk. I'm going to go for a walk. And they might run into someone that is a great collaboration partner, or they might have an idea that will save them loads of time, So that is one of the takeaways that happens when people do these courses.
Yeah, for me, what added another level to the quantum manifesting was what we gained from the appreciation game, and that was to always to have the feeling before the doing. Always, because we are both. You're very present, but I'm a doer. Like I love to study, I love to learn. But all of that knowledge isn't going to collapse that timeline. It's the feeling.
Yeah. So Boyan and Nicole, they were invited into our appreciation game as affiliate partners. And because Boyan, before he even met beautiful Nicole, he was doing all these, he was playing with the idea of, I want to be a public speaker, I want to do meditations. And then I think he started, I really remember Boyan then set up this beautiful meditation, which like, I think 50 people showed up or something. And you were guiding us through 3 different wounds. And it was so profound. And we always said, oh my God, Boyan, your voice is amazing for meditations and for affirmations and things like that. But then, you know, when he decided to work with Nicole and manifest things, I knew he already had this huge talent in him. And so he's going to birth something new into the world, which is what he's doing now. So we're very excited. So what are we going to do? What is the setup? Are we going to do a clearing first or meditation first? How should we do it with the group? Should they put their intention in the chat or I don't know. What are we going to do?
Before we answer that question, I have quite a few meditations of mine on my YouTube channel, Boyan Dobret. So you guys can check it out. I've been posting one every Monday, different topics. And yeah, I mean, we're expecting to have a baby any day now. So I might take a 1 or 2 weeks break, but afterwards I'll probably just keep creating new meditations. So what are we going to do?
Would you like to do any random meditation, or would you like to meditate them into a Theta?
I think it would be nice for other people to experience what it's like to slow the brainwaves down to Theta. Mm-hmm. So it's a fairly short meditation, and it's a guided visualization. So you just see whatever I'm telling you to see to the best of your abilities. There's no right or wrong, so don't judge yourself. And then once I take you all the way up to that, as you call it, the 7th plane, the energy of the creator, of the universal intelligence, then we'll let you enjoy that blissful place for a few moments. And then maybe Nicole can do some live clearings. Now with the live clearing, so when you're in Theta brainwaves, it's the same state as in hypnosis. We can ask you if you want to search and download. So for example, can we download you with unconditional love in all the cells of your body? When we ask you that question, you simply need to say yes or no. So we need your permission in order to watch this download happen. And we're all going to be connected in Theta. So it's like we're literally reprogramming the subconscious mind. So Nicole will be doing several of these downloads. She's really good at them. And every time she finishes like a sentence or a series of sentences and she pauses, you simply say yes. And then you stay with it, you feel in your body, you pay attention to your energy, and you things might shift.
Beautiful. Should we set, so you guys tell us what to do, because you know, for Alan and I, it's the first time. I know the power of 8, but I'm sure combined with Theta healing, it's very different again. So so let's go for it. I'll mute myself and give you the space. Yeah.
All right. So make sure you're sitting comfortably. You feel yourself supported by the chair or the couch you're sitting on, giving you a sense of safety, knowing that it is safe to go into different brainwaves and to go into the subconscious minds. And we're going to begin by bringing all our awareness to the center of our chest in our beautiful hearts. Focus your attention, and as you do that, just visualize yourself breathing in and out through your heart. You may sense an expansion in your heart as you do that, because the heart always loves that intention. And just acknowledge for a moment how the heart is beating for you thousands and thousands of times every single day. It is keeping you alive. It is loving you into being. And your heart is loving you unconditionally because it keeps beating for you no matter what you're thinking, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're doing. Whether you're loving yourself or judging yourself, your heart keeps beating you in and keeping you alive with infinite unconditional love. So take a moment to give thanks to your heart. Thank your heart for always being there for you. Thank your heart for being an example of unconditional love and compassion. And now we're going to take this beautiful heart energy and we're going to bring our attention to the center of the planet. So for a moment, get a sense of what the energy might feel like down there. That vast, strong energy of gravity that is supporting you onto this planet, that is allowing you to be here. And now I want you to visualize that you're pulling energy up from the center of the planet. You're pulling energy up through all the different layers, through the soil, through the rocks, through all the water, the sand. Pull it up all the way to the surface. And as soon as it reaches the surface, this energy continues up through the soles of your feet. It goes up your legs, up your thighs, up your spine, aligning all your energy centers. And it goes up through the crown of your head in a beautiful ball of light. See if you notice a color or colors in this beautiful ball of light. And imagine stepping into this ball of light as it shoots up into the sky, flying really fast through space, up, up, up through the galaxy, flying between the stars and the planets, through the universe, through the multiverse, and even beyond the multiverse. And when you get beyond the multiverse, you will see different layers of white light, and some dark lights and some white lights. Go through those layers. Next, you'll find yourself going through a golden light that represents the realm of the angels. Next, you'll go through a jelly-like substance that has all the colors of the rainbow. These are the laws of the universe. Next, you're going to go through a pink mist, the law of compassion. And you're going to see an opening or a window. I want you to go through that opening and you'll find yourself in a pearly white iridescent light that is super bright, but it doesn't hurt your eyes. This is the energy of Source, of the universe, of the Creator. Go deep into this pearly white light and dissolve in it. Become one with it. This is the energy from which the whole multiverse was created. This is the energy from which our planet was created. And this is the energy from which you were created. You have come home.
This energy is pure unconditional love. Can we teach you and realign your subconscious mind, the definition and understanding and highest perspective of what unconditional love looks like, feels like, in every cell, every atom, every molecule of your being? We're going to awaken the receptors and activate and open any dormant receptors for unconditional love in your body. And allowing this energy to flood through you now. Cleansing, healing. And we're going to teach your subconscious that this pure energy, this pure love is always there for you to work with, to receive from, to be in tune with, to be heard by. We're going to realign your definition and understanding of forgiveness, of compassion, of truth, of connection to the divine, of power, harmony, support, community, collaboration, releasing any old programs that you have associated with these and giving you the Creator's highest definition, understanding, and truth. Take a nice clearing breath as these activations take place in your subconscious. Now we're going to realign, we're going to balance the hemispheres of the brain. Okay, and can the Creator teach you that it is possible to be grounded and connected at the same time, without the need to leave your body in order to receive. Good. Now we would like to offer you forgiveness for yourself, for all of the times that you've judged yourself for creating something that caused disharmony or hurt to yourself or to another being. Allow the Creator to give that forgiveness. Allow yourself to receive. And can we release the belief that you need to hold on to the memory or the pain of the past, the regrets, in order to learn, in order to create a better or new reality?
Yes.
Thank you. And can this universal intelligence teach you that you can learn and grow and create from a place of love, compassion, and joy? And we're going to activate the receptors for joy. Good. And teach you that it is possible to stay in this feeling of joy. Good. That's very powerful for a lot of people on this call. Okay, so releasing the need, releasing the belief that in order to appreciate joy, I have to experience hurt or pain. I have to be neglected or I have to neglect another.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And can we show you that you can create through play and that you know how to be led by joy, and release the belief that you don't know how to be led by joy?
Yes.
Okay, good. Show you the simplicity of creation. Okay. Okay. For those of you, can we please release the belief that if it's only easy, that somebody else is being hurt? Okay. So there's a conflict that if it's all easy for me, then other people will endure the pain. That there has to be, where there's one, there's the other. Okay. So can we release you from that burden of responsibility of if you create joy, then you're causing someone else pain? Good. Mm. And we're going to go back to the seed moment where you felt separated from Source, where you believed that you were separate. And we're going to teach you and show your subconscious that you always have been, always will be, and always are connected to the divine. Allowing yourself to realize the full potential of your power and releasing the belief that your full power is something that you need to fear. Thank you. Good. And with that, there's many of you with a spiritual team that you're not activating, that you're not calling upon. So this spiritual team is always here to help you. But we have free will in the physical realm, so you need to call upon them and ask them. Okay. So now we're going to call in the spiritual team, the archangels, angels, spirit guides, and ancestors. And now I'm going to leave you for a moment with one question. You can ask your spirit team a question, and you can ask, do you want to ask your angels, your ancestors, or your spirit guides? Sometimes there's a lot of information and they can speak over. So choose. And now I'll leave you for a moment. You can ask them a question and trust the answer that you receive. Okay. Right. Something very important for people on this call is that the creator, there's people here we've lost people. They're in another dimension, but we're holding on and we're creating from a place of grief and a place of lack, that we're missing them, that when we do this, their life will be worthwhile. I'll do it for them. So can we please show you that they're living and they're continuing to create and to live, and that you're here to live your life for you and not for them.
Yes.
Thank you. This is for more than one person on the call, so whoever it's for, please really allow the Creator to show you the truth of your immortality. And we'll allow a few more moments here for these ancestors and relatives to pass on a message. Okay. And finally, can we please teach you that, can we release the need for people in your life, for loved ones in your life to leave you, to die, to leave this dimension in order for you to appreciate life, and show you that you can appreciate life without loss. Thank you. Mm. Mm. And lastly, can we give you a download that you understand the definition of what it means to be enough from the universal mind, and that can we show you that you are enough, and you know what that feels like, and you know how to embody that, and how to respect yourself as a divine being by recognizing that you are enough on all levels. And these downloads will have been given in all languages through all time-space dimensions, to any and all ancestors who wish to receive it, and anybody who's watching the replay. Good. Okay. Good. From this place, I want you to gently bring your awareness simply back into your heart. You can place your hands above your heart. You can begin to gently breathe in and out of here, understanding that your awareness is in your body. And then you can slowly begin to blink your eyes open. Because I want you to realize that you haven't gone outside of your body. You are connected and you always will be. Good, and when you're ready, you can come back and talk to us. Get back in.
Wow, I just went so quick into Theta, and I really and I could really feel that, you know, the things that we were downloading were very essential, because they're things that we try to, you know, we try to read books about love and forgiveness, but actually do we really understand what it feels like? You know, these are big, especially unconditional love. It's a big concept. And I think, you know, it was new for me, this divine creator's definition of an understanding of unconditional love. That was the first time I heard it at Theta Healing. And I think, you know, when you do Psych-K, you also get these downloads and I think it's so beautiful that we now have the tools to actually, we don't have to intellectually grasp it, you know, because we can't. Very often we live in these energy fields where our collective doesn't even know what it means. It's maybe like a few people, you know, people who died and created books for us. They know what it meant, maybe, or maybe Jesus or something. But you know, I think it's also so beautiful that you also were guided by your intuition, that you have the space to follow what you think. I think is, you know, you had an idea what you were going to do, but I felt that you're also going into your intuition, tuning into the group.
Yeah, very much so, because actually I think I thought we would do something along soul alignment and ego alignment in manifestation, but whatever came through was more important, and that's always what happens. And the energy of the ancestors was very, very strong for whoever's on this call. So people are holding back from what they're supposed to do because they're doing things for other people who's passed along. Like whether it's somebody in relation to, oh, my father did this business, so to honor him, I should do this. But he's saying, no, 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 no. That's my life. This is your life. So that's really, really powerful. Yeah.
Is there anybody here on the call that has a question about the program? Please feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Because I think most of us know what it is to have goals that are not in alignment with your soul. Because I think most of us are very aware, very, very aware, and it just doesn't feel very comfortable. And many of us do know what we want, but we're sort of like, we don't know what next steps to take. And sometimes it's just clearing the blocks to get the, you know, and maybe also working, you know, what I see more and more happening is because of this crisis, more and more people are working in groups. And our astrologer, our Vedic astrologer, Hogard Brown, he told us that actually we are moving into the age of Aquarius, and that is the age of collaboration, we cannot do things by ourselves anymore. And I think the group attractor fields that we're creating, they're so powerful, and they're going to change the world. They're going to change many people that are connected, in the sphere of influence of those people that are working on their consciousness. So it's very beautiful. Nobody has questions here?
I've written a question in the chat to clarify more the process for people who are unclear about their direction. So we're going to be working, in different ways. One of them is energy clearings and a meditation to, first of all, remove limiting beliefs and blocks of figuring it out, for example, because often if we don't know what our purpose is, we think we need to figure it out, and it's very from the rational mind.
Esther's having an issue with writing with books.
Okay.
There is something that wants to be written and being shown in a book.
Okay. 4 weeks, Jess, 4 weeks. First of all, we're going to remove these limitations of how things should be according to our limited minds. We're going to really let it go and allow our calling to come to us. That's why it's called a calling. It's not a figuring it out.
Searching.
Yeah. So that is one step. The other step is, once we have done that, once we have removed those limitations and surrendered, we're going to teach people how to step more into the feeling through the meditations, through the videos that we're sending, and actually follow our joy, because it's through following our joy that we will be shown the first step. The first step could be, you think of someone and you decide to send them an email, or make a phone call, or send a text message, or go for a walk, or meditate, whatever it is. And every time we're going to get another step once we have done the first step, and then a third step, and a fourth step. So we're really going to guide people in doing this, and eventually, before you know it, you'll be like, oh my God, I love what I'm doing. How did I get here?
Yeah.
And this is how we are operating now as well.
Sorry to interrupt, it's really important. So some people, they do know what their joy is, what their passion is, but what I'm being shown is like a smack on the head, like a slap on the wrist. When you were a child and you were doing what it is that you loved, somebody said, no, that's stupid, and they put it down, and there's a trauma being triggered. So when you go to actually do what it is that you love, your body goes into fear, and it doesn't want to do that, because it says, if I follow that, then X, Y, or Z is going to happen. So this is what we found in the last experiment. What came up was, sorry, I say experiments, that's what we had as a program, was that each week, usually 1 or 2 people on the call, I would get visions or messages or something for them, because sometimes you might need to do your own personal work outside of a group. But if like the Chinese practitioner, if we can help show you where it is that you need to work on, maybe there's more work in relation to why it is that you can't get in touch with that space, that you've shut it off. It's not safe to look at it or to feel it.
Yeah. No, that's very, very clear. So basically, I read up on the program. I think it starts with connecting to the self, connecting to the group.
Connecting to the self, then there's connecting to the group, connecting to the divine, and connecting to
infinite possibilities. Yeah. So, and it's 3 times a week, and it's you work in a group. So, and I've experienced that sometimes when you work with a group, the group consciousness starts to predominate, and the most pressing things will be dealt with. So, it's not that you don't need your individual work, but a lot can be cleared in group clearings, and it's very powerful. And you also have the 100 monkey effect, or the group resonance, which is one person heals something and they start act like, let's say, attracting clients or get better in downloads, and all the other people then join in. So I think this clearing work is very beautiful. And I have to say, when I looked at the price value proposition, I was shocked. I was telling Boyan, I'm not sure whether this is the good pricing, Boyan. I think this is too cheap. So I think, so what I would love to do is like give to as many people as possible. Imagine that we have 100 people on the group. I mean, that would be an amazing like size of powerful energy, right? So so I think, could you tell a little bit about the price, because we put in the affiliate link here, you know, and I think, you know, there is no way that you can think that this is too expensive. That's just ridiculous. What is the intention behind the pricing? Because you want to help as many people as possible? Is it to get as many people as possible?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that first, because to have 1 hour with me, or to have one of my, like, to have 5 sessions with me is €1,400, and people can't afford that. But I know the power of working individually, one-to-one, and I only want to work with people who are committed if they're going to get my personal time. It's because I've spent over a decade doing this. You know, as we do, and we go through, and I've spent over €100,000 in self-development, you know, and I really value the time and the work. But when it came to the group, it just felt totally different, and it felt like I want to bring as many people together so they can connect and see the power they have together. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can take on from that.
Yeah, I mean, so the price is €88 for the whole 4-week program. So as Angelique says, it's really affordable, and we want
12 sessions. Like, we're talking 12 sessions, right? Yeah. Look, make that calculation, guys, in your mind. Yeah.
It's a quarter of an hour with us personally.
Yeah. But it's when we did it last time, we just got so much satisfaction, not just ourselves, but also seeing what everyone else got out of it. And it doesn't feel like work. It's literally creating for the sake of creating. And we wanted to give people something that they can sign on to if they cannot afford our packages, right? So it's also a way of giving back, of contributing. We feel very abundant. We have our needs met. We are, you know, living in the Philippines, you know, for the last 5 months. We will probably travel to some other country once the lockdowns have been lifted. So it's you know, we're just giving back, just making the world a better place. That's why we're here.
That's beautiful. And I've seen more and more teachers really go for basically contributing value and then giving like really what I would call affordable packages. And sometimes it's great to, you know, just work with these teachers in the affordable packages to really get into in connection with what they're embodying, and to maybe even work with different teachers, but then suddenly just go to one specific teacher for one private session or one specific mastermind, which is more valued at a high price. And I think all of us are intelligent enough or intuitive enough to know what to do. Like, for some people it might be an astrology session, for some people it might be just an individual session with just Boyan or just Nicole, or just the group sessions are enough. So it really depends. And some people might want to do, you know, a training in Theta healing. You know, you just don't know where people are going to go. So
yeah, we are actually doing the basic class at the end of the month. We'll link it as well. The registration's up online.
So just to answer Runa's questions, so it's Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays it's always at the same time. It's 2 p.m. CET. So we made it consistent, no confusion. It's always on those dates. And as we said, the other dates, we'll just share one video or one article to keep you guys inspired.
Boyan, the reason why I ask is like, so I'm at work because I'm working in my office right now. But so I wonder if it's possible to do it outside, from the repeat video or something like that.
Yeah,
recording.
Recording.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, because as we know, there is no time and space, and it's really about the intention. And we know that entanglement really exists from the flamingo community. We've seen so many people say, oh, I couldn't join the healing, but I felt this really weird energy when the coherence healing started. Like, you know, so we have so many anecdotes of how entanglement really, really works. We as flamingos, we see a lot of people that come into our community manifesting flamingos everywhere. Like, you know, it's like, imagine you can manifest flamingos. Definitely you can manifest your life purpose, your soulmate, you know, your ideal business partners, right? So Ellen, do you have anything to add? Because I know you have people around you, so you might not be, yeah.
House full of children. Yeah, I just loved the session, the clearing. Oh my gosh, I was somewhere else, I think, and I don't even know what you downloaded me with, but I know it was, I always feel with Nicole that you're talking to me. I'm like, hey, I feel like I'm having a private session. It's always so amazing. I'm like, wait, I think you're talking, just saying exactly things for me, but I think other people feel the same way. Yeah, about the price point, I think 88 euros is nothing for what you're offering. So if people aren't going to join after this call, I would say, yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't join, because I felt so, just one session.
They're not aligned. They're just not aligned, you know?
Yeah.
Let it go. Yeah.
There's no hidden agenda. We're not going to upsell you with anything. It's literally 88 because we love doing it and we want as many people to enjoy this program and get the most out of it. Because the world needs these kind of things, you know. It needs to have uplifting programs, uplifting people, uplifting communities, and you know, we just create such a nice group of people that appreciate connecting with each other and manifesting great things, collaborating.
That's exactly the word that was coming in. Like you said, Angelica, about the attractive field of the group, like oftentimes the people are in the group, right? You are the soul family. It's creating that environment for them. Like it was just, I found it so amazing the last time when people created courses. I just woke up and I rang one of the girls in the group and I said, you should start a course on crystals. You're the most magical fairy person I know. Why don't you actually have a course? She's like, you're totally right. Later on that day, someone else from the group called me and said, I think I want to do a course on crystals. And I was like, I know someone who just created a course.
The beautiful thing is there is no competition. You know, like, you know, let's say all of us here are going to start quantum manifesting. I don't know. Everybody can create their own client niche because, you know, as you know, you can watch 500 videos or 100 books and you feel pulled towards one teacher. You'll feel pulled to actually sign up for a retreat with one teacher. And this is why it's so important to do our inner work. It's not the propaganda or program or marketing or beautiful PowerPoints that we give. It's our inner work that will make people feel aligned with what we do. So if you want to do your soul purpose work, you know, most of us have been manifest, you know. I think I told my boyfriend, I think for sure 50% of my income goes straight to like all the spiritual teachers and, you know, to Amazon and Kindle and, you know, I don't know how many downloadable programs I've joined at masterminds. Yeah, so somebody's asking whether they can have multiple intentions and purposes. I wouldn't see, I don't think, why not? Yeah. So, and Jaspinter is asking, will we be learning to manifest or getting downloads? I think they're both. It's both.
Yeah, the downloads will be to help bring you into alignment with your manifestation. When it comes to intention as well, you can have many intention, but we want it to be
just
specific.
That's Lynn McTaggart's work. Lynn McTaggart's work is very specific. She actually, you know, like when she does the power of 8, she's very different from Dr. Joe, who even says at the coherence healing, you don't even think about the disease. You just see coherence, right? And Lynn McTaggart is say, think about, you know, we want this person to heal this specific part of their body, blah, 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 blah. And even to like talk about numbers when you manifest numbers. So it's like, I think everybody is it's like a diamond, it's multifaceted. Everybody's just talking about one specific piece. And I think, you know, if you're clear, you know, you're either going to manifest your intention or something better.
Yes, it's not necessarily, so with Lynn McTaggart, and she says, like, you know, if it's your baby finger, you go for the baby finger.
Yes.
You're going more with, if your intention is to feel joy, you go with the feeling. You want the intention of the feeling, or your intention is to live your soul purpose. That's still specific with still having a huge possibility to fulfill that. But it's not saying, I want this, and this. It's saying soul purpose.
So you're talking about if people want to just manifest, let's say, a relationship, or they want the money, that you're talking, we should first look at the soul purpose, not at the money or at the getting material things or getting things into your life that are just basically not even about soul purpose, might not even be aligned with soul purpose.
What we'll see in the exercises that we do in the first week is to bring about what's the feeling, right? You guys know this so well. What's the feeling that you want to get from the things that you want to get? So you can see, am I manifesting from my ego or am I manifesting from my soul? So it might be that you end up wanting something material or that you want the feeling, but at least you'll feel good about it, whichever one it is that you want.
I think the difference is the ego manifestations are very much, I would say, they're coming from lack and they're coming from externalization, meaning I believe this car or this relationship or this success or this money will give me safety, or oh, I finally feel loved. Whereas, you know, to be when we're working with the quantum, you need to embody the love, you need to embody success, you need to embody wealth, and know that it is coming from your connection with creation of value, right? And that is when you magnetize it to you, which is you can still manifest wealth, but you have to apply the principles in a different way instead of just doing the action, listening to all the calls of people telling you to make 100 calls and, you know, crank out the videos or whatever it is that you need to do, which is completely the 3D way of doing things, which is all about success, chasing success, and not about actually, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? It feels so empty. It feels draining even. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, we're actually doing a manifestation challenge for ourselves. When Ayana is our baby, for everyone. When Ayana is born, we're going to be going offline completely for 7 to 10 days. And we've set a manifestation goal for the end of those 10 days. So can we bring all of these things into our life without touching technology, with being in the present moment with our baby and seeing what happens? We've got the whiteboard set up. This is how I feel. This is what I'd like to have when I feel this way. And these are all the things that we'd like to do over the 10 days, and then let it go.
When I was at the first advanced follow-up in Zurich in Europe from Dr. Joe, I think this was 2016, there was, they gave a scholarship of a gift to give to a girl that actually, she just took a bike and she decided that she wouldn't have money and she was going to manifest every day exactly what she needed. She did it out creating with the divine. And I was like, we had a video of her and you were like, but actually I know Lester Levinson, who's the founder of the release technique, he also did these things. Like he just so aligned that he saw himself as one with everybody. So he knew that if I want something, everybody wants to collaborate with me. And he would literally leave there's a story of him leaving his house in New York to go to LA without any money. He would just come on the street and he would meet somebody that said, oh, I owe you some money, or here's my car, or here's the key to my apartment, like literally. And I think this is an amazing challenge or intention. I don't like the word challenge. Call it intention or something. Or yeah, so we're looking forward to that. When does the program start? Yeah, that's a good question.
May.
5th of May?
24th of May.
24th of May. Oh, you have to wait a long time then. Yeah, so but in the meantime, if you feel called to work with Boyan and Nicole or with any of them, I tag them on my Facebook, so you can definitely go and follow them. I think they have a Facebook group, but if you want to read about the program, we put it here in the chat. It outlines the 4 weeks and exactly what you're going to get at the dates and why it's different. So, makes sense due to the baby. Yes,
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, that's enough time. 7 10 days offline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Math in my head.
Sorry, I'm not taking any personal clients over the next 3 weeks. So if anybody books on my website, you'll get an automatic email saying when I'll be back on work.
But Boyan is working, right? I did a session with Boyan. It was really beautiful. It was about one of the challenges I I had in my love life. And we found out that there was something around me feeling like, and Boyan was really operating on intuition. It was really about me believing that I needed to suffer to learn lessons, which was, I think, a huge belief in the spiritual world, because we believe in karma and all of that stuff. So I think, you know, you just don't know what might be blocking you. So these individual sessions, they're priceless. You know, and I think sometimes we think, oh, you know, should I spend this money? I say spend the money, because you're going to be free of so much baggage, for God's sake. You know, it's really like it could be 20, 30, and you're still struggling with this little block that you didn't look at. It might not even be your own block. It could be somebody else's block, or just something that you basically buy into a certain belief system, right? We have so many belief systems that are not serving us, and even in the spiritual books, there are belief systems that might not be serving us, really, right?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that with people. They can say any coach to be a good coach. What do they need? Their own coach, because you can't observe your own unconscious. Yeah. I've seen people, and I've seen the belief systems within their family and within their teaching. I'm like, you don't see it. You can't. It's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of us need somebody to show us our blind spots and our light as well. So I want to thank you. Susan has a question. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to share how amazing, powerful this meditation and clearing was, and you know, I felt something like I'd never felt before, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you, and thanks also for clearing up the question about the multiple intentions, because it made clear what everybody shared. So the question is really just saying thank you, and thank you very much to all of you. Alan, Angelique, and of course, I hope I get the names right, Boyan and Nicole. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Susan. I want to thank Boyan and Nicole and all of you here and all of the people watching the replay. I think lots of people are going to sign up, because, you know, it's a bargain. And so hopefully we'll be creating some amazing stuff together. And if Boyan and Nicole, if you ever want to do a program for soulmates or divine life partners, we're in. Like, I met my amazing man already, but I know Ellen and I really want to help people really look into their blocks, because we know both of us we've been working on that for quite a long time. And these things don't happen, they don't happen by accident. And a lot of beautiful people, they just think, you know what, I'm going to achieve success first, and then I'm going to think about the love. But I think they can go together. You know, they could totally go together.
But this is the funniest thing. Just before you said that, I was thinking of saying this, that when you talk about patterns, before I did my work, my subconscious work on relationships, I was manifesting weak men, because I viewed my father as weak. He was a great man on many levels, and this is one of the issues that we have as humans, is we justify negative behavior because we say, oh, they were doing their best. My father was a great man, but I still created the belief as a child that men were weak. So I was manifesting men who I had to be more dominant over. And it was really pissing me off. I was like, why can't you? Why can't you make
wear the pants? Yeah. Yeah.
And then I cleared it up, and then I got this. I was like, oh.
But there's much more that you did. You didn't just clear one block. You did a lot, you know, and it evolved. It was a process of evolution. Yeah. But with Theta clear. Sorry?
It's a process of evolution, and you got to put in the work, but it's always worth it.
Yeah.
Life just becomes easier, more joyful, more abundant.
Next level, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Alan and I can totally we are testimonials for that, because before we discovered how we can trust downloads, we were probably efforting, both of us. Maybe if we were collaborating without trusting our downloads, we would have like really pissed each other off and really like gone into our ego. And right now, Ellen and I are just like, let's feel into this. Like, we don't know, like we just bypass the mind and we just trust the quantum field, the co-creation with the divine. The answer is there. We just need to get out of the way and we'll be clear. And I think the more clearings you do, the more you'll get in touch with the beautiful divine that wants to help you, including what you said, your team of angels and, you know, the ancestors. We have so much help. It's like, you know, some of you are in the 7 a.m. CET meditations, the intention meditations for the best case scenario. You've seen how the angels are talking to me. It's like, it's crazy. Like, they keep sending me specific messages all the time. And I think, okay, thank you. I'm going to do that now. And it's like, the co-creation with the divine is such a beautiful thing. And I think one of the most fundamental things that people don't understand is we actually don't trust life. But once you clear the blocks, and you start getting the synchronicities and the signs, and you see that they lead to manifestation, they lead to things that are more magical than you could ever think about or figure out, you start to trust life. And I think that's the most biggest gift that we can give ourselves, is that we trust life, that we trust whatever is unfolding, even though it's very chaotic, it's very unpredictable, it's very scary sometimes, there's still a divine agenda, and then we can align with it. And I think those of you, you know, who feel called to do this work, you know, keep on creating, keep on, you know, releasing those blocks.
Yeah, can I ask one question? Because when you were talking about the angels, in this what Nicole did, you made contact with the spiritual team. You could ask a question to your spiritual team. Did I understand correctly that I had to choose between the angels, the ancestors, and the other guides, or can I just ask my total spirit team for help?
The reason that came through was because what I was seeing was loads of them come in at once, and they can be overwhelming. So they could all have messages for you. So it wasn't just, it was that you wanted to know who to speak to, because sometimes somebody's better to speak to. Maybe you wanted to speak to an ancestor, or you wanted to speak to an angel. Because they're different energies with different opinions, right? And different guidance and different advice. So depending on what you want to know, different people are the right. The first time I experienced that was when I was calling in my soul tribe team, the guides that were here for my soul family, not just for my soul, but for the whole team. And I just got bombarded. And I was like, I can't make sense of this. And that's what happened again today. So many came in that I went, okay. So that's why I said choose. Who do you want to speak to?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy your beautiful day in the Philippines, in a beautiful paradise there. And I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you for devoting your time and your magic to the community and offering such an amazing offer. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to put quite a lot of people on it that you know, might, for some whatever reason, always think they don't have money or don't know their purpose or whatever. So we're going to help you promote this program because we really believe in clearings. And I want to thank you all for being here, those watching the replay. And if you have any questions, reach out to us or Boyan and Nicole. And we are grateful for you, and we know that you're here because you needed to hear something here. And maybe we'll see you in the little group, the big group of Boyan and Nicole.
Hundreds. All right,
Hundreds.
Thanks everyone. It was so amazing to have you. I'm so excited to start on May 24th.
Thank you. Much love.
Okay, lots of love. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.